Hey Booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I do have my Norway hat on because I've been feeling very Scandinavian lately. And also I'm really cold. I think I might be getting sick. And to make matters worse, you guys, in spite of everything, I feel like I have lost my Christmas spirit. I have my little nutcracker earrings on this morning. They have little legs and arms that move. And I have my beautiful Christmassy bracelet on. And I've been reading Christmas books and among other things. And yeah, I don't know if it's just the result of, 2020, 2021, 2022. The 10 inches of snow that we got this week probably didn't help. And no, nothing closed. With 10 inches of snow, everything was still open because in spite of the fact that the wind is normally going to some varying degree here, yeah, no wind at all. It was completely still. So we all went to work, school. Anyway, fortunately, we found someone who would come and help us shovel. So anyway, but I'll talk more about my Christmas spirit here just in a second. So what have I been reading, or what am I still reading? Okay, you guys, I'm still reading, and I'm still just a fraction of the way into the Saga of Gosta Berling, but I am going to read this, you guys. Even if it's just the last book of the year, I will triumph. I'm not seeing the Swedish Gone with the Wind. that is for sure. I'm not capturing that, but anyway, so it's 400 pages long, and yeah, I'm on page 62. So yeah, this weekend, this will be, because I would still really like to read my No Holly for Miss Quinn by the end of the year, but I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. So anyway, this will get done. And I am still reading The Christmas Mystery, which is about a advent calendar within an advent calendar within an advent calendar. There's a lot of layers going on here, but yeah. So this, and I said this last week, is very much about the nativity and the birth of Christ in relation to Christmas. No Santa Claus or anything like that, really. I'm trying to think if there was a mention of Father Christmas, but I don't think so. So yeah, so but it is delightful. This is what I read before I go to bed every night. So, and I will say that with the exception of the first day, because I could not wait for December 1st. I did read the first day early. I think I had to go back and reread it. But anyway, I have not been reading ahead. So I will finish this on Christmas Eve. And then what did I finish? So I finished the Annotated Christmas Carol. This is by Charles Dickens, of course, illustrations by John Leach, and this is edited with an introduction and notes by Michael Patrick Hearn. In addition to the Christmas Carol, it also includes the way Dickens would read A Christmas Carol at public readings. So there's also A Christmas Carol in 4 staves instead of 5 staves. That section has another huge introduction and hardly any annotations with the script. probably because they've already previously said things in the actual Christmas Carol. I did not read that, but I feel fine putting this in my book journal. This is book 54 for the year. So how do I feel about the Annotated Christmas Carol? It was just such a different experience of reading it, because I read A Christmas Carol every year. And you know, I enjoyed some of the notes. I think the notes veered a little far off the path at times. There are lots of sections, long annotations related to something that's mentioned in A Christmas Carol that's, you know, in another book by Dickens. So, I mean, there were like 2 pages about Fagin, there's a part about Bleak House, I'm trying to think, David Copperfield. So anyway, I struggled with that because I was like, and it definitely would spoil, nothing got spoiled for me because I think, well, I haven't read Oliver Twist, but I know enough about Oliver Twist to know what the gist of the annotation was, but yeah, so, but I think a lot of things could be spoiled for people reading other books by Dickens, and it just kind of took me away from Scrooge and his journey and his transformation. That's my favorite word in the world, transformation. And so I'm so glad I have this edition. We have multiple copies of A Christmas Carol. But I enjoy and I appreciated the notes. The edition that I usually normally read is just a little tiny paperback because I can read that in bed. So there's no notes or anything like that. And this, you know, as per usual, Dickens is making references to Shakespeare. There's references to King Lear and what was the other play? Oh, Measure for Measure. That I would have never. I've never read those notes anywhere. So there's biblical references, you know, the kinds of material that Dickens is normally pulling from. And again, there are also a lot of annotations related to other books by Charles Dickens, the Pickwick Papers. You know, how many times Dickens talks about alcohol in the Pickwick Papers. And, oh my goodness. So I realized the reason that I read A Christmas Carol every year, which, I mean, I do think it is an amazing, amazing book. And if you haven't read it, you're really, really missing out, because, you know, all of the film adaptations it's just a different experience from reading it yourself. And it won't take you long at all. Really, truly, you could read it in a day if you wanted to. I don't think that's the best way to read A Christmas Carol. I like to take it a little bit slower, but yeah, you could read it easily in a day. And it's just, so I think for me, I read A Christmas Carol because I want to be reminded of the kind of person that I want to be. And unfortunately this year, I feel like I'm slowly, I'm like A Christmas Carol in reverse. I'm going backwards. I'm turning into more of the Scrooge at the beginning of the story rather than the Scrooge at the end, which is very, very depressing to me. I don't want to be a miser. I don't want to be bah humbug. And like I said, I haven't put up as many Christmas decorations as I normally do this year, but I've just had a lot of stress for, it feels like a really long time. Yeah, and it's affecting my health, and I think it's affecting Jason's health. But I'll leave him to talk to you guys about that at some point. But yeah, so it was a bit sad. It was a bit sad this year. And maybe I'll get it back. Maybe I'll get it back right at the end. I don't know. But anyway, if you do find a copy of this, again, I recommend this book. But it's definitely not going to be the version of A Christmas Carol that I read every year. Might read this one like, I don't know, every 4 or 5 years or something like that. So it's beautiful though. I mean, just for these incredible color plates. I'll try to show one. I haven't. There's the Ghost of Christmas Present, Ghost of Christmas, or Jacob Marley. He didn't, John Leach was like, I'm not attempting to draw the Ghost of Christmas Past. Oh, and then there's a better one. So again, excellent. So glad I own this. So glad I could read these notes and I did get something out of it. It was different from reading an annotated Alice in Wonderland, because I think normally when I read that book without notes or anything, I'm just lost. Like I miss all the jokes that are in that book. Alice in Wonderland, or Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, excuse me, and Alice, or Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There. The annotations in that edition just completely opened the story up for me in an entirely new way. I had no idea so many things. And Dickens I've been reading for a while now, and I'm much more familiar with his works and things like that. So I don't know, maybe it wouldn't ruin things so much, or maybe you'd forget about a particular note. There's one note in particular that I was like, you're gonna tell people, what if they haven't read it yet? Booktube, I would love to hear from you in the comment section what you're reading this weekend. Did you get snow? Or are you living in sunshine and warm weather? Yeah, so I love engaging with you in the comment section, and so please feel free to leave a comment. If for some reason you're anxious about leaving a comment and you think something really bad is going to happen, I promise it's not, but you can leave an emoji in the comment section, or you can give this video a thumbs up as a way of saying hello. So I'm really glad you're here, and I hope that if you celebrate Christmas, which I recognize, not everybody does, but if you celebrate Christmas, do you have the Christmas spirit this year? And can you tell me where I can find mine? All right, Booktube, take care. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.